Let's be real, you're not studying just to become a traditional bean counter, right? You want to be the strategic business advisor in the room. So today, we are diving deep into activity-based management and profitability analysis for the LCPI Management Advisory Services exam. We're going to build a mental framework that actually sticks with you for the next 3 years, straight through to your board exams. Let's get to it.
Here is our study map for this explainer. First, the profitability illusion. Then ABC, uncovering true margins, followed by ABM, trimming the fat. After that, we'll hit strategic pricing and mix, and wrap up with some LECPA master review hacks.
Section 1. The Profitability Illusion. Why good companies go bankrupt. Okay, imagine this. You've got a company, let's call them Classic Brass. They are absolutely crushing it with booming sales, pushing both standard and custom products out the door. But then, management looks at the income statement and boom, they are sinking into the red for the very first time in their history. So what gives? How on earth does a company sell way more but actually make less money?
Well, the culprit is usually this trap we call peanut butter costing. Traditional costing systems literally just take overhead and spread it evenly across everything, usually based on something simple like direct labor hours. It's exactly like spreading peanut butter uniformly over a huge piece of bread. It creates this massive, dangerous profitability illusion. Why? Because it overcosts the simple, high-volume products and dangerously undercosts your complex, custom products.
Moving to Section 2, ABC, Uncovering True Margins. To fix that distortion, we intervene with activity-based costing, or ABC. This is totally foundational for your MAS exam. Traditional costing is just volume-driven. It uses a single plant-wide rate, which, as we just saw, completely distorts reality for complex products. ABC, on the other hand, is driven by actual cause and effect. We use multiple activity cost pools to track where resources are actually going, giving us highly accurate margins. It's honestly like switching from a blurry camera straight to 4K resolution.
All right, to make this stick in your brain, you absolutely need to memorize this 4-part cost hierarchy. First, unit-level costs. These happen for every single item, like power to run a machine. Second, batch-level costs, setting up equipment for a group of items. Third, product sustaining, like designing a whole new product line. And fourth, facility sustaining, the rent, the plant manager's salary, stuff that just keeps the lights on. And here is a huge hack for your exams. Remember that batch-level costs, like machine setups, do not change based on the number of units in that batch. A setup costs the exact same whether you're running 10 units or 10,000. Mark that down.
Let's look at a real example with a client called Windward Yachts. Under traditional costing, you'd subtract direct cost from your $11,350 in sales and think, wow, we're making a killing. But when you map the overhead to specific activities using ABC, especially the massive $3,993 cost of product design, you find out the true customer margin is a razor-thin $699. It completely exposes exactly where the company is actually making or losing their money.
Visualizing this overhead consumption proves that indirect costs aren't just some mysterious black hole on a spreadsheet. They are driven by real, measurable activities. When you see that 40% of overhead is being eaten up just by design activities, you suddenly know exactly where to focus your attention as a manager.
Section 3. ABM, Trimming the Fat.
So activity-based management, or ABM, is where you really earn your keep as a strategic advisor. This is where you take that raw ABC data and use it to make the hard decisions. You're actively eliminating waste, improving processes, and boosting profitability. Basically, if ABC is the diagnostic thermometer, ABM is the medicine you prescribe.
For those tricky multiple-choice questions, you need to ruthlessly categorize activities into 2 buckets. Value-added activities actually increase the perceived worth to the customer. Think engineering, machining, or painting. Non-value-added activities, they add cost and time, but zero customer value. If you can eliminate a task and the customer doesn't even notice or care, like storing inventory, moving materials around, or parts just sitting there waiting, it is strictly non-value-added waste. Get rid of it.
Let's plug this into the ABM process improvement cycle. Step 1, identify all your activities. Step 2, measure the time and cost of those non-value-added ones. Step 3, aggressively eliminate them. And Step 4, implement just-in-time processing.
There's a great example from our sources with Heartland Company. By targeting and eliminating that non-value-added waiting and storage time, they slashed their total manufacturing time from a sluggish 44 days down to a lean 27 days. That is pure, real-world strategic execution.
Section 4. Strategic Pricing and Mix.
Imagine you're advising a firm that makes a highly complex product, like the S3 lens. Suddenly, a competitor drops their price down to $53. Now, your traditional costing system is screaming that it costs you $132.07 to make this lens. You'd normally reject the business, right? You'd panic, thinking you're going to lose a fortune. But wait, you run the ABC data, and it reveals the true cost is actually only $49.98.
Because you have that highly accurate ABC cost of $49.98, you can confidently match that competitor's $53 price and still pull a profit. This is exactly how ABC empowers managers to make aggressive, highly profitable product mix decisions that those outdated peanut butter costing systems would just completely miss.
Section 5. LCPA Master Review Hacks.
Okay, time to lock this into your long-term memory for the boards. Hack 1. Whenever a question mentions broad averaging, instantly think of peanut butter costing and how it undercosts complex products. Hack 2. Batch costs ignore unit volume. This is a classic trap they will try to catch you on. Hack 3. ABC is just the math. ABM is the action you take. And Hack 4. If a question brings up just-in-time or JIT inventory, link it directly to eliminating non-value-added activities like storage.
Let's bring this whole schema together one last time. Traditional costing distorts margins by using single allocation bases. ABC uses a cause and effect hierarchy to find the absolute truth. ABM steps in to separate value-added from non-value-added activities. Cutting that non-value-added waste slashes your costs and time without hurting quality. And ultimately, that precise ABC data is what drives winning strategic pricing decisions.
So, as you dive back into your MAS prep, ask yourself this. Are you just memorizing how to punch numbers into a calculator, or are you actually preparing to be the strategic advisor who finds the hidden profit that everyone else completely missed? Master this framework, and you won't just pass the LECPA, you're going to dominate the boardroom. Thanks for joining me in this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.